Good evening, everybody. I'm David Robinson. My co-host Anthony Johnson is back, and we're here for week 1 of fantasy football. Isn't it great to be back? I mean, we haven't missed a year, have we?
I think we've missed a few years.
It's been a few years, Anthony, and from the bottom of my heart, it's great to welcome you back to the league. It's great to have this league back together and have our little fun on a weekly basis.
Yeah, some of the guys that are in our league this year, I was throwing around the term reigning champ, and they're like, reigning champ? I don't even know you. And I was like, you see, the fantasy BFD league goes way back before they even started here.
Absolutely.
And I am indeed the reigning champ.
You are the reigning champ. 2 pioneers of the league here. I think that's all we have. We have us 2.
Jamie.
Jamie
is a pioneer.
Jamie is a pioneer in the league as well.
Yep.
She's been around. So we're going to bring the action like we used to. Try and spice it up a little bit. Maybe we'll add in some Instagram stuff. Hashtag, Clubhouse BFD.
Our studio's gotten better.
Yeah. Background looks better here. We'll pipe in some music in the future. If you got any suggestions, please feel free to drop a note. What do you say, Anthony? We just get into the recap of week 1?
Well, I think we should actually get into the draft.
Actually, we should.
Let's start from the beginning because a lot of plays were made there that have made or break already and going into week 1.
Well, I mean, really, it's the biggest part of your season. I mean, when you start off, you draft players, and I saw that we had a couple players just auto-draft. Now, I don't know what you think about auto-drafting, but there's a lot of players that have died by it.
I think somebody in our league going by the name of auto-draft for the win
is going to die by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've already seen that going into week 1. He did lose week 1.
Well, the funny thing is that Derek actually showed up to the draft.
He showed up and sat there and looked at your computer
just to see who he was going to pick.
Who's next?
Bro, just log in and do whatever you want to do.
You can pick him yourself.
Now, on the flip side of that, there are some inexperienced players, I think, that made some errors in their draft.
Yes, and those are also people who are going to die by those errors, but they'll learn from them if they play with us next season.
That's absolutely correct. And you know what? The season's not over. We're 1 weekend. There's so many things that can happen, so many injuries. You can pick up players. You never know what's going to happen. So I wouldn't give up on the season just yet.
No.
You got to listen to the podcast, learn some things, get out there in Waverland and pick up some new players and make your team better.
So just want to start. Let's just start by going through our league, introduce the players, the team names, anything that stood out in their draft that you were questioning and or was like good choice. I think this guy's going to do well this season.
Absolutely. All right. Cool. We'll start with Lick My Tate. Lick My Tate is
Alex.
Alex's team. And I was pretty impressed with his knowledge. He seemed like a guy that knew what he's doing. It was definitely not his first rodeo.
No.
Came prepared to the draft. Alex kind of fell in the same situation where I did, except for the opposite. He just kept on taking running backs that were great, that were still out there, that he was getting value on over and over again.
Yep.
Didn't really fill out his roster until the 9th, 10th, 11th round, like a lot of fantasy players will do. I was in the same situation, except for I was loading up on the wide receivers, because every time it would come back around to me, I'm like, how is this wide receiver still here? And a lot of players try to just take those first 6 rounds and just fill up their roster. I need 2 receivers, 2 running backs, I need a flex, I need a tight end, I need a quarterback. So 7 rounds, I guess, right? And 7 rounds, they take, okay, I got a starting lineup. Where I will say, if I have to take, if the first 4 picks I take are receivers, because that's the best value, that's what I'm going to take.
I don't quote you on that one.
So I was impressed with Alex, and I think that he's probably going to have a quality season ahead of him. We talked about the auto draft team of Derek. I don't really think there's much to mention there, except for the fact that if you auto draft, all it's going to do is just every time it comes up, whatever player has the most projected points, that's who you're going to get. It doesn't matter if it's going to be. You might end up with 2 kickers, 3 quarterbacks that way.
Yeah, it's true. Which I think Derek actually got a pretty well-rounded team for the auto draft selection, while another player on our team, Jamie, who was in Europe, could not draft. Her ex-husband was supposed to draft for her, and then he forgot.
Yeah, things happen. But you know what? Jamie's a player.
Yeah, she's already made the change. That's how you know
she's going to turn her team into a real team. It didn't matter that much for her. She might not have missed out on some favorites that she might have wanted. A player that she thought, ooh, I project this player higher than everybody else does, so I can get him, and that's who I want. I'm going to, like you liked McCaffrey so much this year. You're willing to take him with a first-round draft pick.
Second.
Yeah, but you would have been if you were at the back end of the draft.
If I was on the back end of the draft, I would have taken him.
You probably had him ranked as a 3rd or 4th best running back in the league.
Yes.
Much higher than most. But that's what you can do if you're actually drafting for yourself. Get the players you like your team. Let's see here. Who else do we need to talk Who's his 4th and 20?
Oh, that's Jack. He's a newbie to the team. That's
again. He wasn't at the draft. I didn't meet him. I think I've met him in the past, but I was impressed with his draft.
Yeah, no, he also seems like somebody who's experienced. He's in a few leagues. He made some decisions I don't know if I agree with personally, but I think they'll play out for him in the long run.
We'll get to that when we go through his matchups. There's a couple things I'd like to point about his team and some of the chances he took that I think are going to pay off. That, frankly, I was down on a couple of players that he took. He took them in line with where their ranking was. Mm-hmm. I would have avoided them. He didn't, and it paid off for him with big points in week 1. We've got Long Dong Silver. That is Steven Perriman.
Yeah.
Well, Steve was at the draft. He might have been better off if he wasn't.
He might have been better off if he would have just clicked that auto draft button.
It's often. There's head scratch. I mean, there's things about his team I like that we'll get into. There's also things about his team that he doesn't like. Just talking how we were saying that when you're at the draft, you get to take the players you like. The player that I was just totally against taking was LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, I mean, the Buffalo, LaShawn's old. I mean, LaShawn's starting to get to the point where he needs to think about playing golf.
Yep.
Buffalo is terrible. A dumpster fire, if you will.
A literal dumpster fire.
Logo soon to come. And he drafts McCoy. And I just go, yeah, I know the computer says McCoy's supposed, but I would have avoided.
So this is a manager that I feel like drafted the way he wanted to.
Yep.
Took the players he wanted.
Yep.
And I don't think it's one of those drafts where sometimes the players you want just aren't good.
Right, and you gotta move on the fly.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, if he has the commitment to do that. Hopefully he doesn't, and it's just a free $40 in the pool for the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, I'll gladly chalk it up. It's mine.
Right. The Breeze Knees. Let's see.
That's Jamie.
That's Jamie. We talked about her team. We touched on it a little bit. We'll get into what her lineup looks like now and what we have going forward with her. Sweden House is Michael Robinson, my younger brother.
I feel like he's related to him.
Yeah, younger brother, first time ever playing fantasy football, and he definitely made some serious mistakes in draft.
He wins an award. I'm going to give him his first award right here.
What's that?
Team with the most players not playing.
Yes.
I think he's got
Mark Ingram, who's suspended, Alshon Jeffrey, whose shoulder is like in the middle of
having surgery or something.
They buried his shoulder and they put a tombstone over it and said, you need a new one, bro.
Yes. I don't know if they do transplants.
And if you know anything about Alshon Jeffrey, I mean, he's definitely the quintessential boomer bust player.
Yeah, no,
and there's been seasons where he's been healthy and seasons where he's been hurt. And if he is hurt, he does not play hurt.
No, he sits still. He rides that bench.
No, he does not play hurt. So that's a big mistake. What else are we dealing with? Matt Stafford. We'll get into it a little bit more, but definitely some inexperience there. He reached in some places he didn't have to. But first timer, we're not going to beat him down too much. Who else we got out there? We've got Big Baba Ganoush. Matt's team. I like Matt's team. I was going through it the other day, and I'll get into it a little bit more. But Baba Ganoush, I think I got a week 1 award that I want to get to when we talk about Baba Ganoush.
Okay.
So we'll tease it like that.
All right.
And then we've got the Blackest Red Dragon.
Right,
what? Actually, we kind of missed this guy as a pioneer.
He is also a pioneer in our league.
But he did just skip a year that he was totally eligible to play.
Yeah. What happened there?
Well, I don't know. Maybe Norma, his wife, who was also a pioneer in our league, said it was time to take a year off and regroup.
I think he might need another year off to regroup.
Well,
based on some of his draft selection and his favoritism is what I'm going to call it.
yeah. But flat-out favoritism of all Dallas Cowboys and Detroit Lions.
Yes.
And kickers, apparently. He likes to have kickers on his team.
Well, you need the backups in case they get hurt.
Right.
You spring it that they're not as nimble anymore.
I think he drafted Dan Bailey in the 7th round, who's a kicker.
Yeah.
Who, about 4 days after our draft, got cut.
Yes. See, you got to be able to kick the ball.
You got to make the team.
I guess first off, you got to be able to kick the ball in order to make the team. You got to stay, and then you got to keep kicking the ball to stay on the team. And that choice of Tebow's.
I will give him one thing though. I will say that Blackest Red Dragon. I mean, he must have had a franchise change because it was Tim's Lone Rangers.
Lone Rangers. I don't see this. I have a theory.
Yeah.
Norma dropped from the league. A pioneer,
Yeah.
knows her football,
Yeah. Definitely.
dropped. Tim's no longer a Lone Ranger.
Oh, so we got some collaboration.
Yes,
going here.
I am pretty sure that we got a co-manager.
But I think Norma only likes watching two teams.
And what did Tim pick up?
Yeah, she only likes watching the Cowboys and the Lions. So she doesn't want to be bothered with like looking at her phone or something else.
I don't want to know that Tyreek Hill just scored 4 touchdowns.
That Tyreek Hill is potentially the breakout fantasy star of 2018. That goes through all the teams, Anthony. Let's just say we look back at week 1, see what happened.
All right. Week 1, our first matchup. We're just going to start with me and Lick My Tape. It's game. Going into that, I don't like to look at Yahoo projections, and this is why, okay?
Yeah.
They're going to take the player based on their performance in the past and give you a point that against the defense they're playing against that they believe is going to happen.
Well, it's definitely a new season.
Yes. And you don't know how they're going to play. You don't know how the defense is going to play. Everybody's got these new drafts. Preseason's kind of like a warm-up.
They call them projections for a reason.
But so many people try to live and die by that projection.
I agree. I think it's an overused thing, but I mean, you do have to have some sort of baseline of what you're working with. I think that what happens too often, too, is that, for example, they give the report cards at the end of your draft, right? They do this in all leagues, whatever, it's standard. Don't get too...
We're C players.
Yeah, I'm a C player. I don't care. Because you know what it does? It just says, oh, if everybody in your entire roster stays healthy for the entire season, this is what's going to happen. Well, you know what? Football is a brutal sport.
It's one of the reasons why I like it.
Well, me too. But
I like the fact
and
that...
one of the ways that I draft, and something we could have touched on in the draft portion, is that I always try to target players, especially in my first 4 or 5 picks, that have high floors. That they're not injury prone. They're
old.
Consistent players. They're not old. I mean,
that's important. That's actually very important.
Yeah.
It rolls into injuries.
Yeah.
The older you are, the harder you fall, and those falls start to hurt.
Right. So, what happened at your matchup? I'm going to let you take the wheel on it.
Well, I'll just throw it out there. Tyreek Hill.
Let's bring up your team. Let's see your roster. We didn't really touch on our rosters.
Oh shit! I can't see it. These glasses make things a little difficult.
Yeah.
But
apparently, Anthony went on his walkabout.
I went on a walkabout, came back a little hipper.
Yeah, he bought some new shades, or maybe found them in the lost and found it.
Don't say that. The owner's going to come and try to find them.
I don't know. I'm in trouble.
All right, so we're going to start this off. My team, I felt like I drafted the team that I wanted to draft for being the number 1 draft pick.
Okay.
I was really hoping I was going to be at the tail end of the draft, so that some of my picks I felt were a little bit more justified picking them where they were.
But here we go. This is one thing that we're going to disagree on. You took Le'Veon Bell as the number 1 pick overall, right?
Yes.
And yet that is biting you in the ass, except for the fact that at least you had the foresight to go out there and pick up John Connor before the rest of us had that foresight.
Yeah, see, and I think that's where the experience is.
Yeah.
A non-experienced player may just throw Le'Veon Bell on the bench and put in a backup that they had on the.
And this is what happens. I mean, necessity is when you have that urgency and you say, oh man, because I remember I was looking at it about 5, 6, 7 days out, and who the hell is Pittsburgh's backup? This Le'Veon Bell thing might actually happen. And I looked at it, and I could have pulled the trigger on picking up John Connor, but it wasn't a need for me. And I'm like, he's gonna sign, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I thought. I thought Saturday he was going to show up and be like...
he's not going to play in League 2. And we don't know when he's going to come back. So, good on you. John Connor goes off for a big 32-burger.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
I was not only impressed by him because they put him in Le'Veon Bell's spot, not saying just starting.
Right.
But, I mean, literally slid him out.
Gave him the load.
Yes, you're going to do everything that Le'Veon Bell does. And he did it. He did it. And that's the important part. There were a few mistakes early on, but he pushed through those.
Yeah, I think he did. Did he have a turnover in the game?
Yes,
or coughed up the ball once?
Yeah, at the very beginning.
But they didn't let that. They didn't let that. They must really like that guy. And Pittsburgh. It's one of those teams that, guys, you got to look. Another thing you look at when you're starting your players is if I'm going to take a flyer on a player, I'm going to start a Pittsburgh Steeler as a backup over a Detroit Lion or Arizona Cardinal. Plug in your mediocre NFL team because they have the lineage, they have the coaching, they have the system, the structure that this guy knows, okay, this is how this is going to work. He has the confidence that he's going to get the ball. if he puts the ball on the carpet one time, he's gonna play the rest of the game anyways, unless he does it 2 more times.
Yep.
So good on you there. I like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, somebody that I wasn't that high on. I thought that he was being overrated. And we'll get to it a little bit more, but I mean, he just destroys it.
Blew up.
Destroys
Absolutely
it, and
blew
we
up.
don't even have special team stuff on there. The guy ran back a 94-yard
Yeah,
punt.
for the first score of the game.
Yeah, first time that he touched the ball all season.
And he was just like, I'm going to score a touchdown.
He goes 94 yards.
He's like, yeah, watch this, guys.
Yeah, I like McCaffrey as well.
Not the best showing,
but that was a really sloppy game.
Yeah, it was. The whole game, it really wasn't enjoyable to watch from a fan standpoint.
You really had to be a Panther or a Cowboy fan to get into that, because that was a snooze. I mean, it was just...
Who's a Cowboy fan?
It was back and forth and up and down the field, but not anywhere in the red zone.
No, and I don't like them playing the...
Yeah, it was a lot of punting and just a lot of nonsense. Cam Newton, I mean, he shows up for you enough.
Yeah,
but that's the one thing you got to like about Cam is that he might run one in, which he did.
He did, and that's the reason why I took Cam. I would consider him in the top 5 of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and I had the choice of taking somebody else. I took a quarterback, I think, in the 6th, and I could have had pretty much anyone. I think Tebow was the first one to draft a quarterback.
He probably took Stafford.
And he took Stafford's first
quarterback.
But I went with Cam because I knew that I like my quarterbacks to be agile and to run the ball a little bit. And
that's always, I mean, that helps you out. I mean, it just adds, it adds 6-7 points a week that other players just aren't getting.
Yep.
We got a problem here with Greg Olsen. Another injury. Kind of got the injury bug. You got the the Le'Veon thing going on. 2 of your probably first 6 picks are not going to be playing in week 2.
Yeah, no. And Greg Olsen is no longer on the team.
Okay. You just bye, baby.
Yeah, I can't. He's good. I like him. I've drafted him every year.
I think he should move to Michigan and run for senator.
I would vote for him.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he is worth holding on the slot for 4 to 6 weeks.
No, you're probably right about that. You're probably going to be missing way too much value by holding the slot on your bench for him. Let's see. Really, other than that, you get Nelson Aguilar,
he's middle of the road. He's
Rashard Matthews puts up a donut
and still won.
I mean, yeah. You just get the big performances from Tyreek and from Connor.
I wrote on the backs. Like, Rashard Matthews played the whole game, didn't see 1 target.
That's amazing. I had the same thing happen with a player as well.
So, we'll see how that moves forward. Well, let's talk about Alex's team real quick.
Absolutely.
He has Phillip Rivers.
Which I love.
Who played a great game.
Oh, Phillip Rivers has been a fantasy stud. Probably one of the most undervalued fantasy quarterbacks over the past 15 years. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this a long time. You've been doing this a long time. There's times where mid-season I've looked to plug in a quarterback in a bye week, and the Phillip Rivers is in the waivers. This is crazy.
Grab him.
Okay, I'll grab him. Then I end up starting him the rest of the year
because he scores you 30 points.
Yeah, because he's better than everybody. I mean, the guy just goes out and the LA Chargers, they know where the bread's buttered. And I love him. I mean, Melvin Gordon's a good player too, but I mean, Phillip Rivers is that team, and he's going to put up numbers. He has Devontae Adams. I like that.
Todd Gurley.
I mean, that's pretty easy. He's got a problem with Devontae Freeman. Now he's going to be out this week, so he's going to have to make a plug there. I really like. He's got a problem with. I think he owns. Does he own Kelvin Benjamin?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he's sitting on his bench.
I mean, the theme of this year should be don't own Buffalo Bills.
Garbage fire. Yep, Kelvin Benjamin, right?
Yeah.
1.5 points this week.
I mean, he probably led the team in receiving.
Yeah.
We're going to stay away from Buffalo Bills.
For a playoff team last year, what exactly has to happen for you to come out in the season opener and be lit on fire and drop into a dumpster?
Okay, well, number one, you trade away assets for a backup quarterback in Cincinnati who you think you're going to make your starter, and then you don't start him. Number two, you take your quarterback for the last few seasons, you trade him away because you don't think he's good enough, and then you waste a top 10 pick. I don't know if you waste, but you draft a quarterback in the first 10 picks, and you don't start him either. Instead, you just start the dumpster fire that was still on your bench from last season, and he goes out and promptly goes 5 for 18 and 29 yards or something like that. I mean, one of the most putrid performances you're ever going to see.
So I think I'm going to chalk that up just to an experience. As far as at the head of the team, your quarterback really is kind of the head of the team. They traded away their experienced quarterback.
Right.
They got this guy on the bench who's been there, I don't know, maybe 3 years.
Right.
But hasn't really played any. And now you got 2 more quarterbacks on the bench.
Yeah, but overall, I like his team. I think this is a playoff team for sure. I think that this is the kind of guy that's going to make moves throughout the season. I think this is the kind of guy that's going to spice up our league a little bit more. Probably make a lot of trades and things like that. He seems a very knowledgeable player.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Anthony's teams get the win, 124 to 114. A little tight.
It was. I thought for sure that he was going to just beat me flat out.
Yeah.
I was already chalking this week up to a loss. But, sometimes I guess you should just have faith in your players.
Absolutely. Now, this is the matchup of the week. Auto draft for the win against 4th and 20. 4th and 20 pulls out a 3.5, 10-point win.
Oh, yeah. It was close.
That's pretty close, folks. They don't get much closer than that. For auto draft, you know what? I have in my notes coaching decisions. What I mean by this is that Derek Gunn screwed up, and he went against the computer. Mr. Auto Draft goes against the computer and makes a couple starts here, where he's got players on his bench that were projected to score higher points than the players that he was starting, and it costs him a W. For example, he starts Cameron Brate, tight end, Tampa Bay, over George Kittle, tight end, San Francisco. Tight end for San Francisco gets like 7 or 8 points, something like that. Just a run-of-the-mill day. You know, but that's, really, when you're starting a tight end that you didn't draft, if you didn't get one of those first 5 tight ends, all I want my tight end to do is not get a 0.
Yeah, that's
like, give me 6, 7 points.
Give me 4 points. I don't care. Just give me some points.
Give me something. He also starts Jay Ajayi, or he sits Jay Ajayi, right?
And I think that's where the biggest mistake was.
Well, yeah, and this is a serious mistake. He sits Jay Ajayi, and he starts Derrick Henry in a backfield that has, there's Deion Lewis. We don't even really know who the starter is there.
No. And I think there was 3 people that played the game, and they each saw like 22%.
And there was a lot of talk in Philly that maybe Corey Clemens would get some run and this and that or whatever. But, it's Jay Ajayi. That guy he's been a stud for the last couple of years. You just start him.
Yeah, he's definitely the stud.
And that was one that it wasn't just like, projection 9.9 to 9.8.
It was projection like 15 to like.
It was like 15 to or 14 to like 11 or 12. It was a couple of points where it's like, okay, well, I'm not that smart. The computer can't be that dumb. So really, Derek does throw a game away. And for somebody who auto drafted, and maybe I don't know if he's going to be that involved in making moves, this concerns me. This is a win he needed to have.
Yeah, and it's not shaping up. Now we got this brilliant team of 4th and 40.
4th and 20. Going back to what I said at the beginning, players that I was down on that this guy obviously was up on. Jack, right?
Yep. Okay.
Patrick Mahomes. Okay, second-year quarterback, Kansas City. Everybody's saying that this guy's got all the tools. They traded away Alex Smith so that this guy could start, and I wasn't buying it. I'm like, this guy really hasn't seen the field. He's going to struggle, and he looked brilliant.
So, yeah, he looked great.
The fantasy numbers themselves, I don't know. Example, yeah. Fantasy numbers themselves, he puts up 28 points. He was efficient. Didn't turn the ball over. Does not
look everything you want.
Yeah, does not look like a rookie quarterback. So, he's got Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes. Mahomes might end up starting some of these games. And Rodgers is beat up this week.
Yeah, see, that's... we go back to... Aaron Rodgers is great. I'm not going to say he's not great. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's old. And this is... Last year he got injured. Sat out a little bit.
Injury prone.
He's probably not a quarterback I would have jumped on.
Well, but you got to give Jack credit then that he goes out, he gets another guy that he wants, that he knows that immediately if something happens to Rodgers, he can play him, and he might even start playing him now.
Which would maybe not be a bad idea.
Alvin Kamara, another guy that I thought, okay, lightning in the bottle last year. Kamara goes off, goes crazy, whatever. But New Orleans has so many weapons. You always worry about, is Kamara going to get enough touches? Especially when Ingram comes back.
Yeah.
Is Kamara going to get enough touches? It's not just, because Kamara's really just, he's a receiver.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's a running back, and they give him the ball sometimes out of the backfield. But he makes his hay on catching the football. And so you worry, like, Michael Thomas and Drew Brees Drew Brees spreads the ball all over the place. That's why it's always so hard to play Saints. But it seems like Drew Brees has found his favorite 2 targets, Michael Thomas and Elby.
Which we saw.
Oh, we saw it big time. So this is a team I really like. Seems like a player that's primed for a playoff run.
What's our next one? We got Long Don Silver, and that's this week.
What we have next is, I think
it is
my line.
I should take this away because I don't know how much you have to speak on this.
Not much. Really, Steven's team just drops an egg. He's got a tough matchup. The one thing I like about Steven's team, in one of the other leagues I play, I actually own Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins on the same team, and that's just one of those point multipliers that they're going to win you a couple games by themselves. But they play at the Patriots. It was just a tough, grinded out game, and they weren't protecting Deshaun. He didn't get out of the pocket. They were containing him very well. Yep. So just really lackluster performances out of both of them. I mean, I think they both go for 12, 15 points, whatever. But, I mean, Steve's really hoping. I keep on wanting to call him Tony, too. Why? I don't know. We'll leave that to you. Tony. San Antonio Drag.
Oh, my gosh. I totally forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
He drafts Golden Tate in the second round.
Yeah. But I'll touch upon, the LaShawn McCoy thing again. I don't think that was a very wise draft pick. He's got Leonard Fournette, it tweaks his hamstring. This is a team, Amari Cooper, the Raiders look terrible.
He's got some work.
He's got some work to go. I mean,
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm going to say maybe this week 1 will be an eye-opener, and maybe he'll make some trades, maybe he'll make some...
I mean, he's gonna play better than 72 points. I get fortunate that I go up against the guy that scores the least points in the league. I still put up 118, not the best score ever, but, that's one thing I always talk about in fantasy. One thing you want to do out there is it's not necessarily about scoring 150 points one week. It's about making sure you score 110, 115 every single week. Yeah. Because you're going to give your chance to win. You're going to be in the ball game every single week.
And that's really what matters.
Yeah. And then with my team, quick, Michael Thomas goes off for 30, 16 catches, 180 yards, a touchdown. That game was a shootout going up and down the field. Nothing crazy, nothing that stands out, but it just my team is deep. I've got players like on the bench that can start for other teams. I pick up Adrian Peterson this week.
Which I think is a great pickup. I was watching some ESPN fantasy shit and
the amateurs.
Yeah, and
but you can pick up something from an amateur once in a while.
Yeah, but I really like this graphic they put up, and it's Adrian Peterson's head wobbling around like this on a freight train. And it was like everyone on the Adrian Peterson train, because it's going somewhere.
Oh.
And I think that he's back.
He led the league in touches last week.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I believe that every issue that he's had in the past few years is finally to a point where he is back.
I think, too, one thing that you got to take into account is that the team he's playing with right now really suits his style. Alex Smith is a game manager. They're not going to they're going to plod here and there. They'll take their shots once in a while, but they want to control the ball. They want to control the pace of the game. And so long as Peterson, this is a big if. He was older players. This is why I would not draft somebody like Adrian Peterson. But by golly, he goes out and touches the ball 30 times in a football game. I'm going to try and get him on my roster. So he's going to get run. I like that a lot. But other than that, like I said, I run into somebody who just doesn't put up any points. And Steven, you got work to do, buddy.
I really hope you do because it's another $40.
Yeah, I think it might. This looks like a team that's headed towards the bottom.
Not the top.
Yeah. What we got next?
All right, up next is Jamie. We got the Breeze Knees versus Sweet House. And
well, this game really, it actually looks a lot closer than it was. We go 125 to 112. Really, it was a thing that going into Monday Night Football, I think Mike's team had Golden Tate, and Golden Tate would have to score 35, which clearly he didn't.
He did not. He scored half of that.
He scored half of that, which is a tough number to put up.
17 points is still good from a wide receiver. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, we would rather them score 20, 25 points, but I would take 17 over 11.
I think Jamie's team's a lot like mine in the fact that she has a lot of quality wide receivers: Antonio Brown, Keenan Allen, Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, you don't have to be watching football every day to know who these guys are. She starts all those guys. You know, those are just high floor guys. You know, I mean, Keenan Allen has had injury trouble, but just once. He missed one season, but other than that, he plays all the games. Larry Fitzgerald, I mean, he's been playing since I was in high school. It seems like
John McCain and Larry Fitzgerald used to have a relationship where John McCain would text Larry Fitzgerald and be like, "Hey, you're messing up my fantasy team here. You need to pick it up next week." That's a guy you got love.
The Maverick, John McCain. Antonio Brown, that's probably a first-round draft pick for her, but you know,
I don't know. It was what the computer picked.
Yeah, it probably was. It was probably a first-round pick. You know, he's going to put up numbers. Drew Brees, I love at quarterback because I think the Saints are just going to put up points and have points and points and points and points and just throw it all over the field. I like her team. I don't know. I mean, if we look at her bench, is there some moves that she's made? I don't really know.
She has made some moves because she did end up with like 2 defenses and 2 kickers based on the auto draft system.
Okay.
So she did make those changes, I believe. No, she's.
But I don't mind her. I don't mind this bench though. I mean,
they put up points too.
We've got Jack Doyle on the bench at tight end. You know, that's another. I mean, that's somebody that a lot of players would. I mean, I'd be starting Jack Doyle. I like Carlos Hyde out in San Francisco. Just as a bench player, somebody that you can plug in on a bye week. Mm-hmm. She's got the rookie Williams with the LA Chargers. So that's a high upside type of player. Yep. So just a solid team up and down. Let's go over and see what Mike's got going on.
All right. Well, as you said, it was a pretty close game. He's got Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to do Tom Brady things. Wasn't as big of a
that game was just. It was not an offensive game.
No,
it was 20. What was it? 27 to 20. I mean, yeah, you'd say there's some points out there, but it never felt like a game that was ever going to explode.
It didn't look like Tom Brady's normal offensive.
We were spreading the ball. They were spreading the ball all over the field. I don't really think any Patriot really went off.
No.
There was no huge numbers.
Kind of just a mediocre week for the Patriots.
I guess the bright spots for Mike is Saquon Barkley goes off for a 68-yard touchdown run. You got to like to see that of a rookie. Like the Giants drafted this guy, they're really going to give him the ball.
Yeah, let him run.
Yeah, they're
he's
really
fresh. He's young.
I like Melvin Gordon. I like all Chargers. I'm a fan of the Chargers. I think that they're a team that could do some big things this year. But then we kind of go to the downside. And the downside, like you're saying, is that he leads the league in guys that aren't playing. So that means that we're starting guys like Juju Smith-Schuster. We're starting Jay Crowder. It's weak. And then his defense really lets him down. The Chargers' defense was touted as probably a top 10 defense in the league going in, the projections.
Yeah.
And Kansas City goes in there and just beats the hell out of them.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and they end up getting -3 points, which, I mean, legitimately, that's the difference in the game. I mean, if that defense goes off for even 10-12, and we're talking
picks up a better tight end. Defense plays normal. This game would have been 3 points.
Right. Yeah, and I don't like Trey Burke. I don't like any Chicago Bear either. Outside of maybe Juwan Howard, or Jaron Howard, or whatever, the running back.
Yeah,
he's going to run the ball a little bit. And then let's look at his bench just so we can point out how few players he actually has. That play.
4 players put up goose egg.
Yeah, Alshon Jeffrey hurt. Sony Michel got hurt. Mark Ingram is not going to play till week 5. Keep that in mind. And then he has 2 quarterbacks on his bench, which is terrible. We got to get rid of at least one of those quarterbacks, if not both.
Tight end. There's tight ends out there.
The only player on his bench, he's got 2 players on his bench that are worth having, and that's Galladay and Mark Ingram, because he will come back and he will be a player.
Yes.
So that's what Mike's got to do. And hopefully he gets involved and he starts really understanding the beauty of fantasy, falls in love with it, and maybe make something out of it.
My advice to Mike is, I think I've made the most waiver pickups so far this year. I think I'm up to like 7.
Yeah, I think I've only made 2 or 3.
I play the waiver every week.
That's because I drafted them.
Yeah, I'm not going to say you didn't. I'm just going to say I play the waiver every week because people go up, people go down, people get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And there's that hot shot rookie running back that's playing for them.
Right.
I'm going to take the chance on it. So I will play that waiver every week, and you'll see my team change probably
the bottom half of that roster is going to keep.
Yes,
rotating.
it's going to keep rotating.
I agree with that.
There's nobody besides like
there's very few players that like even for me in some leagues that I have right now, there's very few players that if they're on my bench and they're putting up zeros or 1-2 points, I'm gonna roll the dice on somebody else.
And try somebody else.
Very few players that I'm willing to say, okay, like I'm Mark Ingram, like all right, he's suspended. He's gonna come back.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna be back. He's not gonna not play football.
It's starting to look worse. Let's move on to the last matchup.
All right, our last matchup is Big Baba Ganoush, Matt versus the Blackish Red Dragon.
And Matt runs into a situation like I had where he runs up against a player that really underperforms. So he gets an easy victory here. Let's start with Tim's team.
Have to be an easy victory.
Let's start with Tim's team here because I want to expand on Matt's team a little bit more than Tim's team because I think we know what we get with Tim here. We kind of have that favorite draft we were talking about where we've got Lions and we've got Cowboys. Actually, if you have a Cowboy, you might want to try and trade with Tim. But you got to remind him because he doesn't like checking his emails.
And make sure you let him know what bye week they are so that he knows he can take that week off.
Right, that's true.
I do want to say that Tebow made the mistake of who he started and who his bench played. It's another one of those you look at the bench and his bench just blows up.
Oh, yes.
He's got Randall Cobb. That's up 25 points.
Yeah, with nuts.
And then he's got Cook, who probably had the best tight end performance last week.
Number one tight end.
And if he would have played both of them, he would have won this
Jared Cook was the only Oakland Raider that
touched
the ball. He was. It was
I don't
ridiculous.
even think the quarterback touched the ball. I think he just took the ball and was like...
Somehow the center snapped it this
to
way.
him. Yeah. Over his back, into his hands. Puts up 23 points.
So that means, Tim has 3 tight ends. 3.
That's Calvin Clay.
0. Charles Clay.
Charles
0.
Clay, yeah.
0. He still has Dan Bailey on his team who
0.
got cut.
He's not even playing football anymore.
Dan Bailey played golf on Sunday. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Oof. All right,
he's trying
a little easier in football. All right, let's see that. I'm trying to make the web.com tour. He has Gronk, so I don't understand. Maybe try and trade Jared Cook for somebody. Maybe somebody will be like,
probably a good idea.
Oh, Jared Cook went off for 27 points. This is how he is. It's
probably get more.
I've seen Jared Cook in the past, and he's had games like this. We played with the Rams, things like that. So I'm not buying Jared Cook yet.
What he should do is trade Gronk.
He might be able to get some value.
He should probably trade Gronk for some better value and some other slides and just play Jared.
Or if he watches the show, some of the other guys aren't watching the show, he could trade Jared Cook to some inexperienced player who goes, oh, he's going to trade me this guy who scored 27 points.
Yeah, trade him to auto draft.
Yeah. And they're going to go, oh, I can't miss out on this guy. Yeah. Rex Burkhead he's out. He's dead too.
He
starts C.J. Anderson. C.J. Anderson is the backup running back for Panthers.
Yeah, I don't think very many people
behind. There's Cam Newton now, and there's Christian McCaffrey.
Number 1 running back.
Well, and Christian, they're pumping up Christian like he's the stud of the team too.
Yeah,
there's stud A and stud B. It's not like
stud 8.5.
Yeah, it's not like they're down here. He's up here with Cam. That's how they're pumping him up. So they're going to give him the ball. They're going to have him on the field. I don't. Dak Prescott. I don't. This is okay. I can't tell you. All right, well, we're going with Matt's team.
All right, Matt. You said you had some stuff you want to talk about Matt's team.
Yeah, my week 1 proclamation is that Matt has the best team in our league. And now I know he didn't score the most points, but this goes back to my point about bench depth and going through the bye weeks. This is a guy that set the table for himself. That he doesn't really have to make a ton of moves with the depth that he has. Let's look at his bench. Obviously he puts up 120 points. That's an above average score in our league, but it's not something that you're going to go, oh, wow. That's 120 points. Big deal.
I think it was 3rd highest in the league.
But I love this depth. Okay, we have at tight end, he starts Jordan Reed over Evan Ingram, which was the correct decision. Yes. But Evan Ingram is a 2nd-year tight end who's going to see touches.
He's experienced, and he's going to score you points.
All right. He has Deion Lewis, who, unlike Derrick Henry, has a great week 1. Looks like he's involved in the offense. He's dual threat, catches the ball, rushes the ball. Emmanuel Sanders is on his bench. He's emerged as
always as a fan.
Now, the only thing about Emmanuel is usually gets hurt, but he's emerged.
When he plays,
he's seemingly emerged in that game as Case Keenum's
number one go-to guy.
Yeah. Sterling Shepard I mean, that's nothing to brag about, but this is a wide receiver who's going to be on the field for 90% of the snaps. If you've got to plug somebody in a bye, I don't mind that.
This is what I like about Matt's team. This is how I know he's probably got the best team in the league. His bench scored 113 points.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, and then let's look at his starters real quick. I mean, I don't want to go on too long about it, but I mean,
because it speaks for itself.
It's strong. I mean, you guys got to look at this guy's roster. It is strong. I really like it. I like Russell Wilson. Going back to your point about Cam.
Yep.
You know, guys like Cam and Deshaun, these guys are going to just throw extra points out there for you. Russell's going to always end up running the ball for 40 yards. He's going to score a touchdown. He's going to score a touchdown one every 3 weeks.
Yep.
Which is just bonus points. Throw your confetti in the air when that happens. You know, Diggs. He's got good players on good teams.
Yeah,
Diggs on Minnesota. You know, he's got David Johnson is the only Arizona Cardinal you should own, and he owns him. And he's going to touch the ball 25, 30 times a game. Dalvin Cook, second-year running back from Minnesota, love it. Minnesota controls the ball.
There's really nothing about his team I don't like.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I can't.
Maybe his kicker. Maybe get a better kicker.
Great draft, Matt. I don't know.
Hey, who's got multiple kickers?
I think Blackest Red Dragon.
All right, Matt, talk to him. Get a kicker. I'm just gonna say that's my only.
That's not my advice. My advice is that you just
stay the same.
Just have a kicker.
Go.
And then when your kicker's bye week comes, you drop your kicker and pick up another kicker because kickers mean nothing.
I mean, you're right. 3 points. Even if you wouldn't have started it. I mean, you have to start it.
Yeah,
but you did good, man. Good job.
Let's see what we got.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy yet. But we work. You got to keep working. You should trade some of his assets away. Get a little bit better.
Or don't. Just hold on to him.
He could just stand pat because he's got a team that's not going to get hurt either. It looks like.
Let's do a quick week 2. Let's just do predictions.
Absolutely.
Let's just go through. We got myself versus auto draft for the win.
I'm never going to pick a guy that auto drafted.
Oh, I'm gonna go with myself. Just experience.
And frankly, from what we just looked at, he's probably going to start the wrong guys anyways. So
yeah, I don't have to worry about him.
I think you got to put up like 100.
Well, I mean, his running back that played Thursday is already hurt.
Right, that's right. And he's already in the hole anyways.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna beat him by 13 points, but I'm gonna say that I'm going to at least put 5 points in.
All right. I'll go with ridiculousness. I'll give you a win at like 111 to 95.
Right.
I like that. Second matchup, I think this is a pretty easy one. We've got Alex's team who needs a win. That's the thing we found out before. I mean, you don't want to get off to that 0-2, 0-3 start, and then you're just trying to chase, and then you start making decisions that are panic decisions.
Yeah. No. So I texted Alex after Monday Night Football.
Oh, okay.
And I said, hey man, good game. Better luck next week. I hate that I had to be your first loss because I would rather beat him. Whoever wins goes to the playoff type scenario. Than just beat him week 1 because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You lose. I would rather lose week 1 than lose.
You lost me.
Week 15.
You lost me. Do you know what Herm Edwards said one time?
Probably something about.
You play to win the game. You play to win the game.
Well, I mean, I won.
So what are you apologizing for? Are you like some sort of holier than thou? Like,
hey, I've been gone for a little while.
Are you a Democrat now?
I've learned a few things.
Jeez.
One, I'm still married.
It's true.
the holy.
Where's Random Chick at?
Oh
Did
yeah,
we get her?
I forgot.
We need to get her in as a guest.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
We get her in as a guest.
Let's not do that. I mean, let's do it. Let's do it. I'll call it.
You're gonna call
okay, wife.
You're gonna call the in-laws first. Make sure you have permission.
I think he'll just shoot me. This is getting off football.
He's a little guy.
I would more than welcome her back on the show if she wanted to come on and speak to us about fantasy football.
Random Chick, if you go on YouTube and all of a sudden you find this, you know where to find us.
Yeah.
All right. So
we're in the biggest lit building in the
area. Right. Right. Like, let's go with.
You can't miss us.
I think we're gonna both go with Alex over the Blackest Red Dragon, aka Tim Tebow, aka Tim's Lone Rangers, aka Norma's Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. You know what? I really do hope Tebow surprises us, makes some changes, and makes this a good game. But I don't think
I'd like to
Alex
see him
is gonna
spend some
have
of
a
this.
problem.
Yeah, Tim, I've always made the suggestion. Just ESPN in the background at home.
That's it. While you're in your dungeon,
Yeah.
you got people chained up doing whatever you're doing.
Just in the background.
Just listen to some ESPN.
Yeah.
Sports Center, whatever.
All right, let's go matchup number 3. We've got 4th and 20.
Long Dong Silver.
Long Dong Silver. Well, I mean, if we went just straight off of what happened last week, this would obviously be a pretty easy win for 4th and 20 Jack's team, which we like Jack's team.
Yeah, we do.
And we did criticize Steven's team. But, I mean, we're Friday here, and, he got off to a little bit of a slow start. He's already a little bit under projection. But I don't think I can go with the upset here just because one of his cogs that's going to have to score 20 points is Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, and dumpster fire.
Yeah, I mean, so really, what Steve? This I'm gonna go with Jack's team, but with a caveat that if Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins can do their thing, which they could do this week,
Then it could be.
it could be an upset. If we can get 50, 60 points out of those two players, whole new ball game. Jack's got something to worry about. Otherwise, win for Jack.
Yep. Next up, we got the Breeze Knees versus yourself.
I
thought this was going to be.
This is the matchup of the week.
Yeah, I exactly. I think this is going to be the matchup of the week. I think we got two
playoff teams,
two fully functioning teams here. These guys are firing on all cylinders. Yourself and Jamie. This is going to be the team to watch.
Yeah, and both pretty similarly constructed rosters. We're both kind of a little bit weak at running back, a little bit stronger at the receiver position. I think this is one that we're going to be up. Whatever the last games are, it's going to come down to those games. I did make a coach's decision, and I started Adrian Peterson this week.
It's good. I think it's a good choice.
That could be something that if Adrian Peterson goes out and last week was a fluke, it could be a coach's decision, a loss on me that I have to own. Or if he goes out and puts up another 22-point week, that could be great. Coaches win.
Yeah.
That's something that you look at. How are you managing your roster?
I have a question for you. I play Thursday Night Football, and I scored 3 touchdowns. Who am I?
AJ Green.
And whose team is he on?
Oh, I own AJ Green.
That's right.
That's right.
So
that's
are
right.
you saying that you're starting this week with a 17-point lead?
I am. She has Alex Collins, who just slightly underperformed. He got 10.5 points. He was at 12 or whatever. So it didn't really put her in a terrible hole.
No.
AJ gets the 3 touchdowns, but honestly, for a 3-touchdown performance, 27 points is not a lot.
They were small touchdowns.
Yeah,
a 4-yarder.
Well, no, it wasn't. He only had 4 catches. 3 of them were touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he had 4 catches, 60 yards.
Yeah. So the yardage is where.
Yeah, yardage and receptions weren't there.
I'd rather have 2 touchdowns and
160
yards.
Yeah. I got kind of lucky and fortunate, but you know what? When you're playing these games against the higher level teams, you need to get a little bit lucky and fortunate.
You just
and I'm
happy
to take the luck, especially against a colleague that I have to see every day.
And then our last matchup is the Big Baba Ganoush versus Sweetenhouse, and this could be the one that Mike really maybe wakes him up. Maybe this is what gives him the love for fantasy football.
Well, you know what? The table's set for Mike because, like we said, we're on Friday, right?
Yeah.
And Big Baba Ganoush, who's he? Why do we have -1 up there for him?
Well,
let's take a look at that. Because obviously there was some sort of.
He was put up -1 points this week.
Must have been his defense, right?
Yep. Baltimore defense.
Yeah.
So he started this performance.
Yes, he starts Baltimore's defense, which
I can't blame him for not doing it.
Well, I can say that maybe you can find somebody else better out there. I mean, Baltimore on the road, it's Cincinnati, there's football, all that stuff. These are factors you take into account. I mean, but at the end of the day, you don't think they're going to put up -1.
No.
You get
maybe
5,
3.
5, 4, 6, whatever, something like that. So it does throw him back a little bit. I think Mike's team still, I think that Yahoo has Matt's team under projected, as we would say.
Yeah, 116 points.
Yeah, I think that they're probably going to do a little bit better than that. But Mike's right back in the ballgame. So right now, Mike's got his table set. The buffet is open.
Yeah,
so to speak.
You can take it away.
He's got all the mashed potatoes and turkey that he could eat, but he's got to perform.
Let's see if he eats it.
And but at the end of the day,
yeah, right now it's got Matt projected at 109 and
Mike at
120.
Well, if we're going to call it upset, I'll call it an upset. But I can't say that I think this guy's got the best team in the league and then predict him to lose.
It's true, but the numbers don't lie. What do you say? We were just talking about how you shouldn't really.
I'm gonna go with Matt's team in a close victory for Matt.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna say it's gonna be a close game, but I think Sweetenhouse is gonna squeak through this one, and I really hope this is the eye opener for Mike.
Right, we taste that victory.
Yeah, exactly. Once you get the taste of it, you get to shit talk a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
you're
really
not just
maybe,
like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, maybe now he's gonna be like, all right, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about this guy?
Quick note about Sweetenhouse. Team owner for Sweetenhouse. You'll love to hear this. Shout out. Shot 77 yesterday.
Oh yeah, I heard. I heard he did really well. He said something about maybe his best game he's ever played.
Definitely the best round in a long time. Shot 77 yesterday. Put it all together. Just quick side note. Sorry, folks. Got to brag on the brother. Well, Anthony, there's just one last thing that I want to do. And I want to shake your hand and welcome you back to the family.
Ah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. It's good to be back. I really have felt like home, and I think that's really important. I went on a journey, to say, the past 3 years, and really opened my eyes. I've matured a little bit. I've learned a lot, and it's good to be back.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, there's random chicks that'll get involved and bitches that love cheese that'll get involved. But the one thing that always happens is that friends always stay friends, and brothers always stay brothers.
There we are, man.
So welcome back, baby.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Good to be back.
I think it's sponsor time.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'd like to shout out to Patch Blue Ribbon.
That's definitely a secondary sponsor.
Oh, I was just shouting out. I wasn't even going to say a sponsor. I was just shouting
It's
out.
a secondary sponsor. You're looking live at a brand new facility here in Rochester Hills.
Oh yeah, we probably shouldn't even be in here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's brand new.
If you don't see us next week in Clubhouse weekly,
If you don't see us at the Clubhouse,
Yeah.
like if you come in
Yeah.
and we're not there,
just know that's how committed we are to this podcast. Is that we risked our jobs.
yeah, I mean, and we wanted to be in a location that was well lit, quiet, and here we are.
We put it on the line for you guys.
So
So I want to thank Clubhouse BFD.
yeah, first and foremost, our employers who pay our bills.
Yeah.
Um,
LePage, Scott LePage, shout out.
Yeah, I
Watch it.
wish he would come on the show. You think he's got time? Then you can make it
You
out
know
on a Thursday night
how
at like
ran-
9 o'clock.
How random it would be. We got to try and make that happen.
Like,
I think he would be.
I don't
fun
even
of-
care if we just talk about football for 20 minutes and then we just talk to Scott the whole time about anything.
Now Scott's not going to watch this. I hope he doesn't.
I mean, I'm putting it on Instagram.
Okay. But what I will say is that
He'll watch
His-
it because it's on Instagram.
what Scott just has that confidence about everything.
Yeah.
That he has the same thing about football, and I'm not the same way as he is. So and he's my boss, so I don't just say shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. But there's a little bit of that there where I'm like, just dude, shut up, you know what you're talking about.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We don't want to talk about football. Maybe we just.
Oh no,
We hit it real quick.
no. He'd want to talk about football, and he'd be talking about
we
how
just let it.
yeah. So I mean, maybe the game would get a good kick out of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think bringing in an outsider's perspective, not in the league, knows somewhat about football, might be good. You know, just get a little flavor of somebody else.
Griffin Club Brewing Company, got to thank them.
Well, I mean, we
Thanks for the
studio.
for the satellite.
appreciate it.
We're coming up to fall. We even had a few days last week that were a little chilly.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. I
don't
made the
mind
mistake. Made the mistake of wearing a flannel today, and it was like 85 degrees.
So you forgot it was still summer.
Well, I mean, it's mid-September.
But we're going to have, if you talk about some of the beers that we're going to be featuring here at Clubhouse, and maybe some of the stuff that Griffin Club's going to have coming up.
We do have a big bike ride coming up on the 22nd. It is sponsored by Griffin Claw.
Absolutely. Always a big event, a lot of fun.
Yeah, you have to pre-register for that event. So, I mean, look it up on Facebook. It'll give you all the information you need to go. But we're going to have the normal El Rojo, Norms, Bonnie's, El Ligero.
Oh, El Ligero. If it's a hot day out.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, get yourself
We'll have BIP, we'll have Oblivion, we'll have their new quadricycle. I mean, we'll have like 12 beers by Griffin Claw that will be on tap that day at a special price, I'm pretty sure. So you should come in and see that. We also have some other tap events. We got Alaskan Brewing Company coming up. We got their whole line of beers on, from their Husky IPA to their
Amber Ale.
Alaskan Amber Ale. So that's going to be exciting. We just got done with the B-Nectar stuff, but we have a lot of B-Nectar
Stuff
stuff
still
on.
on. Zombie Killer's back.
Yeah, Zombie
I haven't seen
Killer's
Zombie
here.
Killer on the rounds for a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. Down in Detroit, Scott's got it on all the time.
Yeah, well, we had it on all the time here for a long time.
And I think it's quality beer, and I really like it. We got the Dude's Rug by them, which is more their fall seasonal. I highly recommend their 13-year anniversary beer. We've had it for 2 years, so it's actually a little aged now. It's 18% beer. It will slide you a little sideways. But
4 ounce pours.
Yeah, 4 ounce pours. It is the flavors there though. We got a North Peak, not North Peak. We got a North Pier event coming up at the end of the month. That's gonna be really good. We're gonna have some barrel aged stuff from them. Yeah, I mean, check us out on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. And all in all, it's a fun place to come. And a lot of times, I bet you a lot of times people drive by, and I had the occasion of driving by on a day off, and you just see, and it was a Tuesday or Wednesday, and the parking lot just seems packed. But even if the parking lot seems packed, we got plenty of seating. Yeah,
we got bar seats.
Yeah.
We got a Jenga lounge. That's my favorite place to be.
It's a place to be.
I will say you guys should just stop by and say hi. If you're watching the podcast, stop by.
Hashtag Clubhouse.
Yeah, hashtag Clubhouse. Hashtag Chef Dave Rob. Make some.
You gotta come up with a moniker for you.
I don't know. Clubhouse Jesus.
Ooh, somebody might have a problem with that.
Who?
I don't know. There's some changes coming about, so I don't know. I guess we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, exactly. So
Clubhouse Jesus.
I don't know. I just came up with that on my own. But you know, I say if you haven't been to the Clubhouse and you want to stop by, and
or if you haven't been in a while, I mean, you just got to see. I mean, the property itself looks 10 times better than it did 3 years ago.
Our patio's expanded.
Yeah.
With the big glass house behind the Clubhouse,
the big
really illuminates everything that's going on. We still got 51 beers on tap, always changing. Food's changing. We're getting ready to roll out our fall menu.
Fall menu's coming out. We're gonna have some new cocktails.
Yeah, so I mean, there's changes coming, and we encourage you guys to come out and take a look at them. If you haven't been here in a while, if you come every day, or if you just haven't been at all.
And apparently, ask for Clubhouse Jesus or Chef Dave Rob.
Clubhouse Jesus. I don't know if that's gonna stay on.
We'll work on it. Give me some suggestions.
Well, yeah, shoot us. Hit us a line.
I get way too many people.
I need a hashtag.
I get too many people looking me up because they get a hashtag and everything.
Yeah, I need a hashtag. Most interesting man in BFD was Alex.
Right.
I don't have that hashtag. You got Chef Dave Rob. So yeah, hit us up. Give me a hashtag. Right. We'll see if we like any of them. Other than that, man,
I think that's gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for everybody watching. We'll see you next week. Have a great night.
Oh, I shouldn't put gang signs.
You do look like a gangster. You look like Eazy-E on the cover of the NWA record.
Rolling down the street in my